Ladies and gentlemen, that's Young Floor Seats. Young, you know what I'm saying?
Losses too.
Tell me, what is Floor Seats about? What is that? What is the whole idea of that?
So floor seats is just inspired by me like going to basketball games. It was my first time a few years back going to a basketball game ever. Brian Leach, the guy who signed me, took me to my first Knicks game, and it was on floor seats. So like you get there, you get to have the lobster, the shrimp, and all of that. Like
Yeah, it's
during
beautiful,
the
ain't it?
intermission, and then you get to talk to 50 on the sideline. You see Spike Lee, you see all of these different guys. So I'm like, damn, only if everybody could experience the basketball game this way. And I just wanted to create a project where they can through me. You know what I'm saying? With all of the A-list celebrities and basketball players I got featured on the project.
Back to back, you and Favi on 2 records. Y'all both on a Nas joint, and he's on your album.
Spicy. Yes.
Yeah. Talk to me about that relationship. Is this just happenstance? This just happened like that, or there's you and Favi building?
I've been a fan of Favi, and I reached out to him before we even did any music together, and I FaceTimed him and we spoke, and it was specifically for this Aussie Freaks record, and like he just a high, energetic, like cool dude, and this is the time, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was alive. Pop Smoke was going everywhere. He was doing all the features and stuff like that. Favi wasn't really moving around like that, so I'm like, I'm gonna get him. So I went and reached out to Favi, and he jumped on the Aussie Freaks record. And the Nas thing, that just happened by me like walking into Hit Boy's studio and saying, "What's up?" And literally, he's like, "Yo, I want to play you this Nas record." And he's like, "Yo, it's Nas and Fabio." And I'm like, "That gotta be crazy." So I heard the beat. Soon as the 5 seconds of the beat played, I'm like, "Oh, it's done." And literally, that's the same session that I had with Marilyn Manson. I was waiting on Marilyn Manson to pull up, and I had some time, so I pulled up on Hit Boy and ran into a Nas feature.
Ooh, yo. So the devil Marilyn Manson blessed you in a
The
way.
devil.
No, I'm playing. How did y'all link up? Like, what was the relationship between you and Marilyn Manson? How did you guys meet?
So what happened was I made the song last year. I made the song with C Note in Atlanta, and it's called Marilyn Manson. It sounds exactly the way it was. I just
And
had
and you did that just based on the way the beat sounded and creating an aesthetic of like being a fan of his whole from back in the day.
yes, yes. I mean, like when you listen to Shaba, I shout Shaba out the same way. Um, I have a habit of doing that. Like I like whenever it's an artist I rock with, I'll shout them out in a song, like Dennis Rodman. Um, but like this happened with Marilyn Manson. It just popped up in my head because I think I got that really from Rick Ross, like when he was doing the Big Meech song.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm Big
Create a
Meech.
song around an individual, like a whole feel
Exactly.
of it.
Yeah. So shout outs to Rick Ross because he definitely inspired that in me. Like to shout out the people that we look up to, the icons. I did that with Shaba, so I did it with Marilyn Manson, and I'm like, yo, C Note, we got to get this to Marilyn Manson. So C Note hired like this PR person that got the song to Marilyn Manson, but he fell out of contact with him, and like it was a disconnect for about a year. So long story short, I see the song Marilyn Manson on my notes. I'm just going through my notes and I play it. I'm like, this shit is hard. So I went to Marilyn Manson Instagram and I seen that he was following me and I wasn't following him back. I'm like, oh shit. Followed him back immediately, jumped in the DM and said, yo, we need to do that song, Marilyn Manson. He was like, man, I got it. I've been playing it at my shows for over 30,000 people every night, like
And
during
you
my
was like, yo, I
concerts.
need that publishing.
I was like, yo, we need to link up. So I linked up when I came to LA with him, and we just got the song done. Super cool dude. Extra turned up. Everything you would expect out of him. He pulled
Yeah.
up all black, black shades, black hair, glitter everywhere on his clothes, black leather jacket, black nails, big boots. Like
All
it's
that.
Marilyn Manson. All of
All
that. And he
that.
had a million words for me.
Talking your head off.
Talking my head. All the OGs love to talk.
Love, love, love.
Yeah,
Talk all
look,
day.
hence you. It's
All day. All day. All day. Yo, I want to Dennis Rodman's the next track on the album.
right,
Which once again using what you just said before, it's kind of like shouting out to your inspirations and taking your inspiration and turning that inspiration into a song.
right, right.
And
So
obviously, Floor Seats being about basketball, Dennis Rodman was the most outlandish,
he was wild,
controversial,
and
trolling.
yeah, and my homegirl Antha, she pointed that out to me. She said Dennis and Marilyn is kind of like the same person. They just one is black and one is white.
Facts.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that like I like the people that are risk takers, risky. I like the I like people who they break the norm. Like they not like they just take their own route and they play by their own rules. I like that. I like people whose glitches and vortexes, and that's what I feel like Dennis Rodman is. That song actually landed on me though. Like that song, Tiger had did the song and he wanted me to do it as a feature, and I'm like, yo, I'm doing this whole floor seats thing. This song fit perfect on my project, and he blessed me with the song. He was like, yo, you can have it.
It was a Twitter trending topic. The fact that Ferg was kicked out of the ASAP mob. Were you surprised that got so loud and unnecessarily noisy?
Hell yeah, I was surprised because I just didn't know it was going to hit like that. Like I thought it was like, first of all, I was just surprised of the whole everything. Like it was so left field. And I had to laugh at it at myself because I just didn't even know where to start. I didn't know whether to say something back or like what. And I was so left field, like I don't know what caused it. And then I see like everybody, like even Pharrell is sending me like pictures and videos of like fans supporting me, like, yo, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo. But then like even more so, this is where I see like how people really get divided is like going out to restaurants and people like "Fuck ASAP, this, that, and the third, and like you the best and this, that, and like that doesn't rile me up or make me feel better about the situation. Like it's not, it's not even none of that. And then people be so quick to make everything so definite and so like locked in and so like cemented to
Mm.
where it's like when they hear like another side of the story or whatever, they be like, oh, like, well, dang, he does have a point there, or whatever the case may be. So, it's just with the whole internet thing. It's just funny. I've seen a lot of the memes and all of that. It was funny for a long time, but yeah, I am surprised to see it blew up like that.
This hectic joint with Puffy on here. There's a lot being said on this song, man, about the state of
Yes,
affairs right now. It's just hectic outside.
hectic.
Um, the beat changes a few times. Talk to me about the production, just everything that went into this record, and why and how you got Puffy on it too.
So what's crazy about it is I was before the whole George Floyd situation happened and they killed them. I was already making this song.
Mm.
I already wrote my verse, everything. Like I was already on the topic of like police brutality, like they ain't letting us breathe, this, that, and the third. Because it happened before. So as history repeats itself. And then all of a sudden, that's when the George Floyd shit happened. And it was like, oh, I made this song 2 months ago, and Puff was like going crazy on his Instagram, like about like Black Lives Matter and just everything that was happening. And I thought it would be like dope to get him talking on it because he had a lot of things to say, and his energy, he was just like, yo, he was like linking, we was linking, and we was doing like podiums for Revolt and just talking about the state of the world. And this is around the time Black Lives Matter and the whole pandemic is happening, like in the thick of it. So, like the first half of the song, I'm talking about the pandemic. Second half, I'm talking about like hectic with everything that's going on with black people. My boy T Gut, he did the first part of the beat. Before it was just hectic by itself. I had produced that myself. I had produced hectic. I had produced that in Australia. That was around the time I did the video with 1-4, and I was in Australia touring, and the pandemic just hit. We had Idris Alba coming out saying he had the COVID and all of
Right.
that. Tom Hanks was the first one, and he was in Australia when he said it. And
Oh
I
yeah,
was
that's
just
right.
going home. Yeah, I was just going home. So like, I was already on topic with the Black Lives Matter because that was happening already. But I just wanted to make it even more current with the pandemic talk because I was driving to the studio and there was nobody outside. That was the craziest. It looked like a movie. I'm like going through the bridge and the tunnels, and I'm in an Uber
Nobody,
like
yo,
a
that early shit, March, February, March, April, that's crazy.